So I lost my hat in the trip between Casadevi and here being Bambasa, which is it's a pretty nothing border town between India and Nepal. But I'm stuck here for visa reasons. But I managed to just buy this other one for about £1.50, and it still keeps the sun from relentlessly scorching my face, which is apt to do in India. So at the end of the day, I haven't really lost anything. Apart from, I guess, a little bit of self-esteem. And I think you'll find, as a backpacker, especially if you're as absent-minded as me, you probably lose and find things quite rapidly as you travel, and so I suppose you have to build up a tolerance to this and a sense of non-attachment. I think that's what I want to talk about today. First, I want to go through a few of the things that I've lost, just as a reminder to myself of how foolish I am, but also how, in the long run, it didn't really matter, So I lost my water bottle, which my mother lovingly found for me. She found me the perfect water bottle, 750 millilitres aluminium, clipped onto the outside of a backpack. Everything I wanted in a water bottle. And in about a week into India, it was Pushkar. I left it by the Gat in Pushkar. I lost my wallet the other week, which was pretty scary. Luckily, it didn't have anything in it but cash, like a little bit of cash. A couple of books over the time, sandals I left in Manali. One time in Mysore, I lost 2 towels in one day, and then I left the third towel. I left it at the swimming pool, and I managed to recover it the next day. I've lost. The biggest one was my Olympus camera. That was massive because it had all my pictures from Barcelona in it. I was once pickpocketed by a hooker in Cambodia when I was at a beach party. And lost a $100 bill, and lost a running jacket somehow in transition, and countless socks. I have many examples of one of a pair of socks in my backpack, because somehow they slip away from me. I'm not even going to count lighters either, because I don't even believe that lighters can be owned. I think lighters are their own being, and they choose who they go to. And this is, I'm talking quite lightly about it, but it's actually something that really leads me to doubt myself when I'm on the road. It often gets me down, going down this question rabbit hole of should I even be doing this? Is this my calling in life if I can't even keep an eye on where my sunglasses are? If I'm not organised enough to keep my wits about me, then what am I how am I going to build a life for myself, travelling and just seeing how that will work? And I go through this spiral of self-doubt, and it messes with you, man. But really, when all's said and done, apart from when it comes to sort of pride and ego and self-image as someone who is, organised. All you really need to make sure you have is a passport and a means of withdrawing money from an ATM. And, we'll use travel documents in general. And then everything else is, everything else can be fixed. Even the passport thing. It will be a bit of a trip ruiner, but it's not the end of the world. And if you go even deeper into the concept of because I think to be able to live this lifestyle, you have to have a certain degree of non-attachment, non-possessiveness. You sort of have to develop this point of view that ownership doesn't exist. You just sort of have things for a certain amount of time, and then someone else has the thing. I think when it really comes down to it, that's my world, that's my view of this. Because if you get really deep about stuff, like we think we own things because we worked for somebody, right? And then we used the money that we earned working for that person to buy this object. Right? This is my flip-flop. I worked hard to get this flip-flop, goddammit. But then who did I buy the flip-flop from? Some flip-flop manufacturer, right? And they bought the resources and the materials from some sort of, I guess, plastic manufacturer. And whatever the base materials were, obviously were from from a country. So I don't know how plastic is made, to be honest, but I think it's some sort of oil. It's in the ground, and you extract this and you convert it into plastic. And so I guess the person who owns the land owns the resource, and then they sell it to the person who makes the shoe. But when it comes down to it, how does sovereignty of a country exist? Like, at the end of the day, the United Kingdom, for example, it's just an island that, like, hundreds of years ago, some king was better at war than other kings, right? So he put his flag in the ground and he said, "This is my land." And then he started selling that land to people so they could grow crops and such. And then they said they own these crops. But when it comes down to it, he only owns it because he was, I guess, strong and organised enough to stop anyone else from claiming they owned it. So the whole idea of ownership is an illusion anyway. And it's mostly luck that I could afford such a wonderful hat. And I'm sure whatever Indian dude finds it will enjoy it. And so at the end of the day, it's not really lost. It's just, if you have this worldview of not ownership, but transitory governorship, I guess, or like custodianship. Is that the right word? Is that a word? It's more like it's your duty to look after this object while it's in your possession. But at the root of it, everything belongs just to the universe, I guess, whatever word you want to use. This body is just made of elements, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen mostly. These things, I guess they come from like high energy collisions early in the universe, and maybe a little bit of stellar collapses that make heavier elements. And so what am I, like, renting this body from a star? I don't know. But the point is, when all is said and done, stressing about your possessions doesn't really... It's just illusion. It's just a distraction. And I think the guilt that I feel and the shame that I feel for losing things is probably more societal pressure than my own beliefs, my own perspective. Yeah, it's a bit of a rambling video, this one, but it's 40 degrees here, and it's really hard to think because I can't afford a room with aircon. But anyway, non-possessiveness. Are there things that you could let go of? Could you be more of a minimalist? Maybe it could bring you more happiness. Would it be useful to remember that once something is lost, it's probably going to be found by someone else, who may even find it more useful than you? I don't know. Try to bring the idea of non-possessiveness into your life anyway, because I think it brings a lot more peace and happiness, and it makes you feel more like you're part of the flow than being separate and in competition with everyone else for resources. Cool. Alright, once again, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like the content. Yeah, it's my last day in India, so I guess I'll hit you up from the pool. Cool. See you later. Bye.